Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Shout Out to Books, and who are new to the channel or new to the video, welcome to my channel Shout Out to Books, where we discuss anything everything related to books, stories, fun, plot and whatnot. So today I am going to talk about one of my recent read, which was the quickest read that I came across. I just completed it in 2 sittings just because I had the office of the day. Otherwise I would have completed it in one sitting, page to page, like start to end. So this is one of the novels that I had mentioned in my TBR. Okay, it's A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. As you can see, it's a children fiction that I came across, one of the very few children fictions that I have read, and I really liked the book, so I wanted to quickly talk about it. Just now I have finished it, and so let's get into it. As I said, this is a children fiction novel, but trust me, it is way more than that. And so it's basically a story of a young boy who is like 13-year-old. He's dealing with his mother's illness and how to deal with that. So he's basically struggling with that. His mother has a cancer, and the story revolves around that. So this boy's name is Connor, and ever since he has got to know of his mother's illness, he gets this same nightmare every day. Like every night he gets the same nightmare. Okay, and it's like a biggest secret also that he does not ever discuss this nightmare with anyone in his family. One night he meets a monster, and he calls that monster a tree monster because there is this tree besides, or nearby his house, besides a church, that is a yew tree. So it's like in India we find it in I think Himalayan range. So that monster visits him in that particular format itself. Like he is a tree monster, he comes as a yew tree into his house, and it has some berries and it has leaves, and it's not even important at the end of the novel that if this tree was actually imaginary, his nightmare or his visions, or it was an actual monster, because that significance you'll lose along the story, because the story is very nice. This yew tree, when he visits, or when that monster visits Connor, he always mentions that, okay, I'll tell you the 3 stories, 3 tales, and then you have to tell me yours. And Connor knows what he's he's referring to. He's referring to his nightmare. He wants to know what is his nightmare, and Connor at any cost does not want to share that. And this monster always visits him at 12:07 at night, like midnight. Why he visits him in that time frame itself, that also you'll get to know around in the end pages of this novel. So I'll just start with one of the stories that I liked a lot, which was told by a monster to Connor. So he says that there was this kingdom in this place where we are right now, and it's a small town, but there was a kingdom few centuries back, and because monster has been there always, so he knows the stories around that kingdom too. And they had a wise and a just king, and they had some mishaps, like they had wars, they were attacked by witches, and during that time, that king's 4 sons, he lost those 4 sons during that war. And after that he fell into the depression because he did not have an heir to the throne until and unless he hands it over to his grandchild, who was very small. He only had that grandchild. After some time, king decides, okay fine, I'll get remarried, and he remarries to a very beautiful young lady. There is also a rumor around the town that this young lady is a witch. Okay, and later on, this grandson of his, he grows up. When he grows up, of course we'll refer to him as a prince, and after a while this king falls ill, he dies. In the kingdom, it's always like there are rumors that, okay, this witch queen, the new queen, or the second queen that he got married to, has killed this particular king, despite of telling him, other people, that no, she did not poison me. And then prince also is turning 18 recently, but she does not she is not willing to hand this kingdom over to the prince. Now what happens is, prince is quite popular amongst the people, and people want him to become the king. Now what happens is, this prince he falls in love with a farmer's daughter, and later on one night they decide to elope together. And when they are eloping, prince and daughter are sleeping, under the yew tree, who is the monster in our story. So when they are sleeping, in the morning when prince wakes up, he sees that the farmer's daughter is dead and she is killed. There is a blood, and his horse is also gone. So he says that, okay, this is queen's doing, because she is a witch. She wants villagers to think that I am the one who killed farmer's daughter. He sees villagers approaching him, and he decides to go up front and tell them what happened. He tells them, villagers believe him. They decide to go to the queen to overthrow her and get the kingdom back for the prince. When prince sees the monster or the tree, he prays to the tree that, okay, come with us. When the tree comes with them, they decide to burn the queen alive. And what happens next is something that Connor says, okay, fine, yes, she deserved it because she killed farmer's daughter. She was not willing to let go of her kingdom. She is a greedy woman. That's what he thought. That's what he thinks. Like, that's what even reader thinks, right? Then monster tells Connor that, okay, see, I took her and I placed her into the serene, beautiful, peaceful place, a beach, where she can live her rest of the life peacefully. So this is where, Connor gets confused. Okay, what sort of story is this? There is no particular villain. Why would you save a villain if that is the case? Then monster, creates the mist, magical mist, and shows him, okay, what happened exactly at that night. Prince is the one who killed farmer's daughter, and monster was not going to help prince. Instead, he was going to help the queen. That is why he was going for helping the queen and to save her, basically. So such interesting stories are there which will sort of make you think that, okay, what is the fair game of a life, and what is the good and the bad? Is there anything as everything good and everything bad? Nothing like that, right? There is always most of the characters are, or most of the people that we come across, even we ourselves, are not black and white. There is always a gray area, or so that's how it goes. The story is very interesting. In fact, there are 2 more stories that are discussed in the book. Only thing I found a little bit concerning about this book is its length. It's very small. I would have loved to hear more of a stories from monster, to be honest. And this is a new finding. This is a new thing for me to know about myself, that I like children fiction. So it's a great novel. You should really read it. And also, one thing I find a little bit unrealistic is this Connor person, right? This young boy who is just 13 years old is way more mature for his age. I mean, during the stories you will see that he's way more mature, or maybe because he has been through this much, that he has seen his mother's illness, his father's, his mother's and father's divorce, and he is in a peculiar situation where he wants to stay with his father, but his father is not willing to take him in. I know it's a little sad. This is such a small book, but still it made me cry in some of the pages. So that's the power of this book. I really liked it. If you are, if you want, you can also watch the movie. There is the movie based upon this book, A Monster Calls, with the same name. So make sure to go through this novel and tell me, how did you find it? Children fiction that you have came across, you liked, let me know of that too. I would love to read that. And thank you so much for watching it till the end. Have a great day ahead. Bye.